So what is your role in the project and what do you seek from this cross-sectoral collaboration?
So my role is to lead the Sandbox Hub, and I'm actually looking for partners who want to co-create new Sandbox Hubs within Europe and who want to join European network of media innovators.
So I'm a senior researcher at IMEC, and IMEC is responsible mainly in MediaRoad for the policy hub. So developing the long-term policy vision based on various stakeholders' points of view. And in order to get this policy recommendations, we want to rely on media sectors as broadly as possible, and all sectors that are related to the media or that have an impact on the media. So that would include social media, for example, or other online platforms. So personally, I'm really looking forward for this project to happen because, of course, there's a lot of research at national or regional levels. There's a lot of studies at the EU level, but it's the first time at this scale that it's given the opportunity to have all these people talk together and to derive some policy recommendations from that.
We lead the network hub in the project in MediaRoad. This is the part of the project where all the partners and interested organizations come together to discuss all kinds of topics that are of high relevance right now in the media sector. We want to bring together the creatives, really creative side, small production companies, with broadcasters, with technology companies, with startups, with also social science people, and discuss the challenges and then form projects out of this and come up with new policies out of this initiative.
L'École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne. In English, it's a Swiss Federal Institute of Technology that I'm representing today, and the goal is to bring research and innovation for the media industry, ranging from data analytics, data science, artificial intelligence, social media analytics. And these are topics we'll be elaborating on during an event that we'll be hosting at the beginning of next year on March in Geneva for all the EBU members as well as the MediaRoad members.
So we have been involved in all the forerunner and the initial discussions into the MediaRoad. We're very interested in collaboration. We think that's our lifeblood and the only way that media is going to develop and act in Europe. We're, as individual companies, we're too small to work on our own, but we can make a huge difference when we work together. So MediaRoad can give us a way to expand the group of companies who we can collaborate with to find a much bigger group and community of cooperation. And as well as that, by working in the Sandbox Hub, with bringing in our knowledge of Twitter and in trying out an audience-facing way, different new ideas, we can actually give a great way for people to try out new technologies, see what people think about them, see which ones work and frankly which ones don't before you go too far with them. And so we can bring some of our experience on that and learn from the sandbox as well and the things that VRT have been doing to have a real strengthening of the innovation across Europe.
Well, yes, RAI is involved in two of the areas which the project is doing. One is the innovation hub and the other one is the dissemination. And I think this let's say activity is quite important for us because we are in the process of I think we need to adapt our rules in the company to make feasible also the sandbox in Italy, because in our company we are in the process of making the transition from a traditional broadcaster to a media company. So I think this project, this approach could make innovation to a further step, which is quite important for us.
What are the key trends in media research at the moment?
From our point of view, those are virtual reality and augmented reality, and particularly what broadcasters can and should do with them. The trend that everything goes IP in production as well as distribution. And another important trend is the one with big data, involving data security, fake news and everything else.
as leader of the Network Hub, how potential stakeholders and interested party can get involved in a Network Hub, and who can apply to the project?
Basically, everybody who is interested can apply. We have simply put up a list for media companies, R&D, universities, journalists, but basically there is no real limit. And we will provide many online tools where people can contact us, get involved, by email, LinkedIn groups, discussions, and of course we will provide the quarterly newsletters as well to inform people.
And last but not least, how are you excited about the project and about this community building?
Yes, I'm very excited, and as we learned today, networks does it. As long as everybody cooperates, that's really exciting.
So the point for MediaRoad to address the policy needs, it's in several steps. The first step consists in identifying who are the stakeholders relevant. It may sound easy, but actually you have, of course, traditional media stakeholders everybody knows about, but with all the new media, social media, convergent media, whatever, you have a lot of new players that you cannot leave aside, else you're really missing a big part of the picture. And then once you have mapped a bit the stakeholders, as they say, you need to then identify the needs of all these, and it's kind of the analysis there, more the research that needs to be done. And once you've made the first identification of the needs, the important thing is to make people discuss these needs and what you've identified. It can be done online, it can be done in workshops, in events, or other types of frameworks. But it's really important to confront the points of view. And then finally, based on this confrontation of ideas, you can really derive policy recommendations that are, on the one hand, that make sense in terms of what they cover, that really are up to date, but that can also be a bit original and not only a collection of very obvious ideas.
Well, actually, we have several projects or strategic programs, as we call them, who could help the MediaRoad project on the one hand, and on the other hand, how these projects could also benefit from MediaRoad. Perhaps I mention one example. We have a program which is called Implementing Open Innovations. This is a program where we actually work together with our broadcast members and study how they work on innovations, how they build up labs, and then finally how they transform and bring the innovations what they have developed into operations. Now, we look outside the broadcast market, and I just want to mention that we are going to visit Red Bull Media, for example, in November. So the learnings from this event will also feed into MediaRoad, and vice versa. Whatever we learn in MediaRoad can help also our members in their initiatives on innovation and certainly the lab work.
The EBU is the overall coordinator of the project, and so we are in charge of the management and also communication and dissemination, which is actually quite a crucial role because we want to make sure that the different hubs, and you know that there are 3 of them, work together, and that the work of each of the hubs feeds into the results and work of the other hubs. So this cross-sectoral approach is crucial also to get the most out of these activities. We want to combine creative actors with broadcasters, with research institutions, so that we can really come up with a joint and very strong view for the whole of the media sector to give advice, ideally, at the end of the project, to the European Commission, where they should go to in policy terms over the next period.
So I think I'd choose a whole move from traditional digital production to IP-based production. A lot of the standards we've been working on for years, and the whole suite of it's a huge chunk of work. Every little bit that has to be changed from going in a traditional SDI, serial digital video world, actually to working in IP. It's been something we try out, we'll go take to an event, we'll see which bits work, which bits don't work. We'll do as similar as as the VRT did with the Live IP project working with the EBU. We try these things out, we share with other companies what's worked, then we improve on it further, and that's something that is really a key focus for us. Changing it first and how you do it in making programs, and also how you move them from delivery from an all broadcast world to a mixture of broadcast and IP delivery, and how that actually changes how the experience to the viewers, what new things that gives us to do, what new ways of content we can make, how you can personalise it, how you can make it more findable, broaden it out. It's a real exciting time.
R&D has been important. It is still important in the company when we have to introduce technological innovation in the company. But for example, in the past it was digitalization of transmission or digitizing archives, improving picture quality, 4K, HDR, whatever. But what we see now is that more and more technology alone is not enough. You need to make a further step in innovation to involve also people from the non-technology areas. For example, we developed a data journalism platform which is going to change the process you're making news, or maybe also the way you're proposing news to the users.